Hello friends, neighbors, and fellow VEDSies. You might notice things are a little bit different today. I am joined for today's video by storyteller Cassie Greenlee, who also happens to be related to me, in case you've forgotten, because
it's been a while.
She has been in a few videos. Cassie is here to tell us about a project that she has been working on for the last year and a half?
2 years closer. Well,
2 years.
2 years and a few months, actually.
Wow, okay. Project she's been working on for 2 years, which is set to go up in just a few days. I don't know exactly how many because I'm not 100% sure when this video is going to be uploaded, but very, very soon on September the 29th. And we are going to hear a little bit more about this project, which is called...
it's called The Art of Letter Writing A to Z, a new kind of web series.
Now, when you say a new kind of web series, what exactly are we talking about here?
Well, web series is the word that we're using because it's the most concise way to describe what it is we're trying to do, we think. So basically, web series are traditionally video-based. So you've got like the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, you've got Poe Party, and they're usually video-based, and that's how you tell a web series. It becomes very episodic, like a TV show. We are taking that idea, but we're putting it into a text-based format instead of a video-based format. But it's still very episodic. It's going to be a serial release. So we're going to be telling this story that we have to tell in real time over the course of several months.
And what story is that?
The story is that of Zoe and Alex. They are two teenagers from San Diego. And Zoe is a high school junior who is enrolled in a sociology class. And one of her school assignments is to design and implement a social experiment. And she decides to see how many people would be willing to write a letter to a stranger. So she composes this letter and she leaves it at several locations in her city, inviting people to respond if they feel comfortable and answer a list of questions that she gives them. Alex is one of the people who responds. And they start a correspondence, they become friends writing letters back and forth to each other. So our story is composed of 3 different platforms of storytelling, and the main one is of course the letters that these two are writing back and forth. We're releasing them though in real time. So when they write a letter, the internet will receive that letter. But it won't be immediate, so it's not like sitting down and reading a novel all in one sitting. It is more like watching a television show where you get an episode a week.
If you go to the website, artofletterwriting.com, if I'm not mistaken.
Artofletterwriting.com.
All right. You will find more than just a platform for the story. You'll find some spot for other transmedia areas. What does that mean?
So, as I said before, the story is told on 3 platforms. It's told through the letters, it's told through prose scenes that we've written that share either some perspective from a different character that's not Alex or Zoe, or maybe they share events that Alex and Zoe don't go into detail about in their letters but are still important, but the details aren't shared because they're not important, or maybe Zoe and Alex don't perceive them the same way, or maybe Zoe and Alex are keeping secrets. So we've got those 2 platforms that are more traditional platforms, and then our 3rd platform is the transmedia element. So just like with previous literary-inspired web series, you can interact with characters in various places on social media. You can do that with our story as well. So we have currently 2 Tumblr accounts for fictional characters, and we have 5 Twitter accounts for fictional characters. And so those Twitter accounts and Tumblr accounts have been active for the past several weeks, and so the characters are online and are interacting with each other and potentially interacting with viewers of their story.
So even though the official story doesn't start until the 29th of September, things are already happening.
Things are happening. People are talking. They're just kind of establishing who they are and what their interactions with each other are and things like that. So we have, like I said, we have 2 characters on Tumblr. We have Zoe, who is one of the main characters on Tumblr, and her best friend Gabe. And then we have 5 characters on Twitter. So we've got Zoe again and Gabe, and then we have Jimmy, who is a classmate of Zoe's, and he's kind of the everyman character. He's standing in a lot for the audience to kind of ask questions and connect different parts of the stories. And then we have Andy and Eddie, who are 2 baristas who work at a local coffee shop that features prominently in the letters. So those are the transmedia accounts we have right now. More will be coming in the future as the story gets underway. You'll notice that Alex's name has been absent talking about transmedia, which is because Alex is not really a social media person. Alex Carter is a puzzle, a mystery. And so there's a lot that we don't know about that character yet, but we'll find out as things go along.
How necessary is it that you follow all these Transmedia accounts for the story?
It's not. You will get the bulk of the story if you just read the letters and read the prose scenes, but you'll get a little bit extra if you read the Transmedia stuff and follow that as well. You'll also get the opportunity to interact with the characters, which, I mean, personally, I think can be kind of fun. You can talk to Zoe about her life and about what's going on in her life, because she'll be posting about things like that on Tumblr and asking for advice occasionally, and interacting with people who follow her. And so you'll get just a little bit more, like a richer picture if you follow the Transmedia accounts, but it's not necessary to keep up on those. We do have a Storify account though, which is a platform that lets us kind of consolidate all of the Transmedia and post a story at the end of each week that just kind of is like, hey, if you missed it, here's what happened on Twitter this week.
Now this sounds like a pretty big undertaking.
Yes.
And I'm assuming you did not work on this alone. Actually, I'm not assuming, I know. But for the sake of our viewers, who else helped you with this?
The story was actually written and is being co-produced by my co-writer and dear friend Ann Stanley. She and I have been writing together for years, for like 9 years, telling stories in this format. Not the web series format, but the letter format, back and forth. And so we decided to sit down and do a new letter game, is what it's called, 2 summers ago. As we were writing the story, we finished the story, first rough draft in about 3 months, and we kind of looked at it and said, unlike the ones we wrote in the past, which were really pretty bad, this one actually seems pretty good, and we think people might be interested in reading it, maybe, and getting to know these characters. And the more we expanded and explored the story, the more we realized that this web series platform and way of storytelling was actually going to serve it best, to get it out in the hands of the world. And so we started putting this together. It's been 2 years and some months, and it's been a lot of hard work, and we're really excited to share it with everybody. Our PR friend, Ray, who lives in Australia and who's been super invested in this for about a year and 9 months-ish, because we sent out a call for beta readers right after we finished the first draft, and she was one of the ones who responded, and responded very enthusiastically, and fell in love with our story so much that she has jumped on and become a really good friend and become a really critical part of our production team. So she's been invaluable. We've also had several teen consultants helping us with the story and doing some continuity editing for us, and just making sure that our characters kind of feel and read like teenagers, because neither Anne nor myself have been teenagers for quite some time. So that's also been, it hasn't been that long, but it's been about, 10 years. So that's been invaluable as well. There's been a lot of people helping us out, either with beta production or with consulting or with helping us edit, things like that. We've got a really great team of people helping us out.
Now, you mentioned the letter game earlier. What is that?
The letter game is a way of telling stories where you write a story collaboratively with a partner. And we discovered this format because of a series of books that were written by Patricia Reedy and Carolyn Stevermer. The first book is called The Enchanted Chocolate Pot. If anyone wants to read it, it's really good. But basically what you do for a letter game is that you and your partner each create a character, and someone is chosen to start the letter game, and they write the first letter. And in that letter, they establish who their character is, what the relationship between the characters is, and why they're writing letters to each other, which is an especially important question in a modern setting when we've got text and we've got email and we've got, Skype and FaceTime and all those things. Why would you sit down and write letters to each other? So that's always an important question to answer. And then you write the story as the characters writing letters back and forth to each other. And the most important aspect is that you can't discuss the plot with one another as you're writing. You kind of have to wait and see what the other person is doing and work it into your story, even if it sends your story in a slightly different direction. It's just like improv games. You're not allowed to say no to the world your partner is creating.
Is there anything else that you would like to mention about this particular story that you think that viewers should know?
It's just got something for everybody. Whatever you might happen to like about the stories that you invest yourselves in, we've probably got something for you. It's a story told in letters. It's got really great platonic friendships through it. It's got a lot of fun tropes like mutual pining, I know is a big one on Tumblr that people really like. It's angsty. There's a lot of important discussions about family and the nature of family and building relationships, both romantic and platonic and familial, and just kind of that overarching question of deciding as a teenager what kind of person are you going to be and what is your life going to look like. Alex and Zoe are pretty ordinary kids, and then life kind of throws a bunch of crap at them, and the reason that they're able to handle that as well as they do is because they have these letters that they're writing to each other, and they're building this strong relationship with one another and friendship with each other. And we think it's a really worthwhile story, and the people who have read it so far have really enjoyed it. So we're really hoping that this works. It is an experiment. As far as I know, nobody's really tried to tell a story this way before. So we're really hoping that it works, and we're really hoping that we generate an audience for it, because there's a lot that we want to happen that can't happen if we don't have that outside involvement. That's the X factor in all this right now.
Well, I am already subscribed to various things for this, and I'm looking forward to September 29th when the story finally gets started. And I am hoping that you all will visit artofletterwriting.com, which will give you pretty much anything that you could possibly need to follow this story and get updates on this story and make sure that you experience this story in the fullest way possible. So I invite you all to check out this story. Thank you, Cassie, for joining me today.
Absolutely. Happy to.
And until next time, friends and fellow VEDSies, I'll see you tomorrow.
The story is the tale... No, not the tale.
The tale.
The tale, yes.